Speaking of lollipops, getting kids excited just not about sweets, but about reading isn't always easy.
That's so true, especially during the holidays when they're blitzed by images of the latest high-tech toy and all those great, Christmas shows are on TV.
So how can you pull the focus off the TV screen and into the pages of a book? Well, Karen Gallagher is here from the Lollipop Book Club, and she has some tips for getting your kids hooked on reading instead of all that other fun stuff. Now, Karen, this idea basically came to you one day because your kids were getting all these gifts at birthday parties and things like that, but then they'd end up on the floor, not used.
Absolutely. I have 3 children, and after having gone through years of Christmas and birthday celebrations, the accumulation of toys just became absolutely overwhelming. The toys overtook our home. We found it a challenge to organize toys that our children, after a while, were not playing with any longer. And yet, the books were the one things that they would go after time and time again. Long after toys were purged, the books always had a place on the bookshelf and were a means to connect us with our children. And I found to be the most valuable gift that we could give to our children.
It's fascinating how little kids love to come back to books again and again and again. They'll read this book, 10 times.
Over and over.
Absolutely.
Usually the same night.
Absolutely. Well, and that's particularly true with toddlers. They want to read the same book 100 times over again. And I even find that with older children, once they begin to read independently, they'll go back to picture books that had been read to them when they were 2, 3, and 4 years old, and they will read them. So these books that you give to children will stay with them for life. And when I had started the business and I hand-selected every single book that was part of the book club, I had a lot of nostalgia because I could remember reading a lot of these books as a child, and it takes you back to that time when you were young, and a lot of memories around that experience.
So you slowly started replacing some of the toys you wanted to get rid of out of your kids' rooms with books. Did they start noticing? Well, it's like, where's this? Because even if they don't want to play it, don't throw it away.
I'll tell you what the turning point was when I realized that there was a true problem, and this is really a reflection of me as a parent and not as my child, because we do this to our children. All the toys that we give to them is how we've parented them. I had gotten tired of giving all of the toys, so when he was about 6 years old, I had given him a pile of books for his birthday. And tore through them, and he said, "Now, where are my presents?"
Oh, I knew it.
Where are my presents? Because this isn't it. And I realized right then and there that there was a problem, and that I had to do something about the delivery of the book. And I had to create an experience around how that book was presented to my child, because the book in and of itself was not going to compete with a plastic toy or a video game or another electronic or something that he had seen a commercial for on television the night before. So I started to get creative in terms of giving him books and tried a number of different things, and sending them through the mail to him, even to our home, actually changed the whole experience, because kids love to get mail.
They really do.
Really doesn't even matter what's inside the package, but it
creates
a lot of excitement. Because they never do. It's a very exciting experience.
Even for adults right now, because I think nobody gets mail anymore.
Bills.
Like you don't get, it's bills when you get older. But even just a handwritten thank you note or a letter, that's so different because we're so electronically dependent on things.
Absolutely.
You mentioned a little while ago that this is something that stays with them for a long time, and that's true in so many different ways. The early start on reading, I think, is the single most fundamental thing to being a well-educated adult and achieving a lot in your life as an adult.
Absolutely. And in fact, what experts say is the critical window is between ages 0 and 8, and that's when the large majority of the reading acquisition occurs. And even though children from 8 on will continue to develop their comprehension and the vocabulary, it becomes increasingly difficult, more expensive, more frustrating for them if they haven't acquired very competent reading skills during that window of time. So it's something that parents really need to start. Some experts say in utero, but from the time that that child is an infant, you need to be keeping books front and center of that child's life.
You've got these lollipops here. Is that part of the deal too?
Absolutely. This is the twist on the deal. Now, first of all, every single month a lollipop accompanies the book. We've got Christmas and Hanukkah lollipops because it's the season, but we've got Happy Birthday lollipops, we've got St. Patrick's Day lollipops, we've got sea animals, jungle creatures, you name it, skateboarders, ballerinas, so they tie into the theme of the book. Even for the older crowd, we go from ages 0 through age 12. We've got books for every age group. So we've got peace signs and lollipops that tie into even the older crowd as well. And small lollipops for the toddlers.
So a little incentive.
got the little
sweet to get them.
It's the little sweet.
The books.
It's that treat that might not necessarily be part of their regular diet that makes the gift a little bit more exciting for the child.
How long for your kids, because you have 2 little boys, you also have a little girl, but she's not really reading yet, how long between replacing these books to them actually kind of getting on the book bandwagon, would you say?
I would say that occurred within a very short window of time because it was a matter of changing their perspective and how they viewed a book. And there are a number of ways in which you can do that. Number one, you need to make the giving of the book really fun. You need to also change some of your priorities around the house. You need to start reading in front of your children. When they see you as parents read, they will model that behavior, and that can change almost overnight. Children will enjoy reading if you make it a priority at home, and so there are just a number of things that you can do to change that behavior almost immediately.
And you get a lollipop out of it.
And you get a lollipop out of it.
Good.
Probably several down the road.
Karen Gallagher.
Might need some fillings, but you can be well read.
That's a whole nother thing, right? Karen Gallagher from the Lollipop Book Club. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.